Welcome back to the Winning Edge Coach podcast. The podcast's been away for a while. We've had a little bit of a hiatus, but we're back. And as always, the aim of the podcast is to give science-backed tools that you can implement to unlock your potential. I'm your host, Kev Oakley, and today we're diving deep into a topic that touches almost everyone at some point: anxiety. I want you to picture this for me for a moment. You're backstage, seconds before the biggest presentation of your career, or you're on the touchline, in the tunnel, or on the starting line, waiting for the biggest event of your life. Your heart's hammering, your palms are slick, your mind is racing through every possible disaster. That's anxiety showing up, and it doesn't care how talented you are or how hard you've prepared. Here's the thing. Some level of anxiety is normal, even useful. It sharpens the focus. It primes us to perform. But when anxiety starts interfering with daily life, health, and relationships, it becomes a problem. And this is what we're looking to and address in today's episode. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 scientific strategies, each backed by real research, that can help you, whether you're an athlete, a coach, a high performer, speaker, whatever it is, to manage your anxiety more effectively. We'll cover, amongst other things, exposure therapy, the benefits of exercise, nutrition, mindfulness, and a few other techniques that you can use to control anxiety. Plus, I'll give you a bonus section at the end of the show on how to help a friend, colleague, teammate who's in the grip of an anxiety attack. Now, one quick note before we dive in. This episode is for educational purposes. It's not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you or someone you know is struggling with anxiety, please consult your GP, a counsellor, therapist, or psychiatrist before making any changes to any treatment plan. Let's get into today's episode. Okay, before we get into today's episode and start to work through the 5 tools that you can implement straight away to help with anxiety, let's set the scene a little bit. Let's talk about what anxiety is. Well, anxiety is your body's threat detection system firing up. It's not a character flaw. It's not a weakness. It's biology. It's part of our evolution. The fight-flight mechanism is hardwired into us. It's driven by your amygdala, the brain's alarm center, which detects uncertainty and prepares for danger. It's constantly scanning for danger, and it pattern matches. It looks for previous experiences that have been dangerous, or it perceives as being dangerous. Pattern matches, and that's why once it finds a match or it senses danger, that's why your heart rate spikes, your breathing shortens, and your thoughts scatter. And here's the kicker. The more important something feels, the louder the alarm gets. Interviews, exams, final of a competition, presentations, speeches, difficult conversations. These moments matter. So, your nervous system goes into overdrive. But here's the good news. You can interrupt that response. You can take back control, and you can do it quickly. Let's get into the first fast-acting strategy. If you only remember one technique from this episode, make it this one: the long exhale. So this isn't woo-woo. This isn't some kind of new age technique. This is physiology. Research shows that extending your exhale activates the vagus nerve, which directly lowers heart rate, reduces sympathetic nervous system activity. The sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight response. A 2017 study in the Frontiers of Human Neuroscience found that slow breathing with long exhales significantly reduced anxiety and increased parasympathetic activity within minutes. How do you do it? Inhale for 4 to 6 seconds, then exhale for 6 to 8 seconds, and repeat this cycle 3 to 6 times. It's very simple. The key is the longer exhale and focus on your breathing. That's it. It's discreet, it's fast, it works anywhere. If you're about to walk into an interview, on stage, step into the ring, onto the pitch, this is your go-to. Our second technique or strategy is another breathing technique. It's a structured breathing technique known as 4-7-8. This pattern was popularized by Dr. Andrew Weil, but its effects are backed by research on paced breathing and autonomic regulation. The pattern is very simple. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Hence the name 4-7-8. The extended hold increases carbon dioxide slightly within your body. It enhances the calming effect of the long exhale. Studies show that structured breathing patterns like this reduce blood pressure, slow heart rate, and decrease anxiety, even with people with no meditation or breathing experience. Use this when you need a predictable, reliable reset before that high stakes moment. Let's move on to our third technique or strategy, because sometimes anxiety or pre-performance anxiety isn't just physical. It's in your mind, it's mental as well. It's the mental element of performance. So you're about to go into the ring, you're about to go on stage, you're about to go onto the pitch, whatever it is, your thoughts start to spiral. You imagine all the catastrophes of everything that can go wrong. You lose contact with this present moment. That's where this strategy or technique, the grounding comes in. The 5-4-3-2-1 technique is used in cognitive behavioral therapy. You probably know it better as CBT and trauma-informed practice. It works by forcing the brain to process sensory information, pulling it out of your head and back into your body. Basically, it's switching off that fight or flight mechanism, the amygdala, and getting your prefrontal cortex, the new part of your brain, the logical, the thinking part of your brain active. How it works. You look at 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This, as I said, stops that rumination. It reduces the amygdala activity. It's perfect for moments when your mind's racing and you need to anchor yourself, to ground yourself really quickly. What I would suggest with this technique is write it on a small card somewhere, a little business card, write it on there so you've got it with you all the time, or somewhere that you can easily access it, especially if you're involved in a sport, or just practice it so it becomes second nature. So let's just recap that thing. It's 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste, all in the present moment in your current surroundings. Right, we're now moving on to strategy or technique number 4. And with these now, we are getting into the heavy hitters, the ones that move the needle the most. This is dialectical behavioral therapy, DBT, which includes a set of crisis management tools known as TIPP skills. 2 of them are incredibly effective for rapid anxiety reduction. And I've included 2 in this segment because depending on your situation, if you're about to speak or you're a sports person about to get to the starting line, onto the pitch, etc., you can pick whichever one you want. The first one is temperature change. As a species, humans have what's called a cold exposure trigger, the mammalian dive reflex, which slows the heart rate and reduces physiological arousal. You can use cold water splashed on your face, an ice pack on the back of on your cheeks, or a cold drink held against your neck. Simple as a bottle of cold water or a can of cold drink on the back of your neck. Do it absolutely anywhere. You can, before an interview, you can go into the bathroom and splash cold water on your face. You could in certain circumstances, carry a cold pack around with you and place it on your cheeks. This works in 20 to 30 seconds. So it's as simple as that cold exposure to your face, your neck, or your cheeks in 20, 30 seconds will trigger that mammalian dive reflex, slow your heart rate, and actually make you feel calmer. The second double hitter or big hitter in this twosome of tip is intense exercise. A short, intense movement, 20 to 30 seconds again, burns off adrenaline and activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Look at it from an evolutionary point of view. We were used to running away from, escaping from predators, which would have been an anxious moment back then. And that act of running away would have calmed us down. So it fits in with the evolutionary side of our makeup. You could try 20 seconds of fast air squats, 20 seconds of sprinting on the spot, 20 seconds of burpees, or just a short burst of explosive push-ups. You could even get out and a very brisk walk. The actual act of walking and your environment passing past your eyes actually calms you down. These are ideal for athletes, but could work for anybody. Again, if you're doing a presentation, interview, find somewhere quiet, somewhere out the way, and do fast air squats or burpees or push-ups. The important thing with these tools are they are used in clinical settings for panic and emotional overwhelm, and they translate beautifully to performance environments. They are tried and tested, so we can apply them in the performance arena. The last of our strategies or techniques is mindfulness, which mindfulness doesn't have to be a 20-minute meditation session. It can be as simple as 60 seconds. Study in 2019 found that even brief mindfulness interventions reduced anxiety and improved attentional control. And here's a short 1-minute version. Sit or stand, if possible, even lie down. Focus on your breathing. So use one of the breathing techniques, especially with the long exhale, or even the feeling of the feet on the floor. If you can't have that focused breathing moment, just feel the contact of your feet on the floor and the awareness of your body. When thoughts rise, just give them a name, label them, thinking, and then return back to the breathing, the 4-7-8, or just the long exhale, and repeat that cycle for 60 seconds, just focused on feet on the ground, on your breathing. All the time, when thoughts arise, giving them a name. So call it thinking, whatever you want. This does two things. It trains attention regulation. It's the ability to notice where your mind has gone and bring it back. Perfect for those pre-performance jitters. Okay, so those were the 5 tools or techniques that you can use. Let's get into the bonus tool. This one is a tool or technique that you can use to support someone else who's spiraling before the big moment. We've all been there. A teammate, a training partner, whatever it may be, starts to spiral, gets that pre-performance anxiety, and you want to know what you can do to help them. So this one's called co-regulated breathing. We are social animals. Humans are social animals. Our nervous systems sync with the people around us. It's a phenomenon known as psychological synchrony. Research from the University of Arizona shows that when 2 people breathe slowly together, their heart rates synchronize and anxiety decreases. So how can you use it? How could you use it with a training partner, one of your teammates who's spiraling before that big moment? Okay, this is how you do it. Sit or stand with the person. Say as simple as this: let's breathe together for a moment. Use the long exhale pattern. So one of the patterns we've described before, or even one of my favorites, the 7-Eleven pattern. Easy to remember. I always think of the 7-Eleven store. So it's that long exhale. So breathe in through the nose for 7 seconds, and then the long exhale on the count of 11. Keep your voice calm and steady. Your calm nervous system helps them to regulate theirs. I think that's the other key thing with this. You've got to be calm in the moment yourself. And by using the 7-11 or just a long exhale or the 4-7-8 together, you're calming yourself. You're using a calming tone of voice. You're going to get that synchrony and you're both going to calm down. By literally calming your nervous system, you help to regulate theirs. This is really useful and a simple technique if you're with a teammate in the tunnel, a colleague before a presentation, a fellow student before exam, or if you're a teacher for one of your students before an exam. Anybody is about to go into a high stakes performance. It's simple. It works on a human level, even on an evolutionary level. Mostly important of all, it works. Okay, let's wrap up today's episode. Today we covered 5 rapid-acting, science-backed strategies to stop pre-performance anxiety in its tracks. The first one was the long exhale, which activates the vagus nerve and calms the system. Very simple, just focusing on the exhale, making sure it's longer than the inhale. Then we went on to the 4-7 breathing technique, a structured reset for the nervous system. Our third tool, strategy, technique, whatever you want to call it, was the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. Just makes it logical, stops the spiraling thoughts. Number 4 was the DBT TIPP skill. Those 2 really powerful big hitters of cold exposure and intent exercise for immediate relief. Fifth was that 1 minute mindfulness, as we said. It doesn't have to be a 20-minute meditation. 1 minute of mindfulness helps you regain attentional control fast. Plus, I gave you the bonus strategy, the co-regulated breathing. So you can now also not just help yourself, you can actually help a teammate or a colleague calm down through a shared breathing strategy. I want to set you a challenge for the week. Pick one of the above. Try one of the tools, techniques, whichever one feels most comfortable, probably lands with you the best, and practice it daily. Not just when you're anxious, because the important things with these things, you need to be able to switch them on, know what you're doing without having to think about it. So if you practice one of them daily, pick your favorite, what resonates with you, and build the skill before you need it. Then when the big moment comes, your body will know exactly what to do. Okay, that's it for today's episode. I've got a couple of things to ask you. If you found this episode valuable, share it with somebody who needs it. Teammate, a colleague, a client, or a friend. Pre-performance anxiety is universal, but we have the ability to overcome it. And the next big thing I need to ask you, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Winning Edge Coach podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a review and hit the like button. It generally helps more people to find the show. I'm passionate about sharing this information with as many people as I possibly can. The bigger the show, the more time, the better the quality of the information I can share. Okay, that's it for today's episode. So until the next episode, just go out there and keep building your winning edge.